Welcome to Basement Movie Room, again, hopefully. So, we are reviewing tonight our little instant take on another Vinegar Syndrome film. Since we did Champagne and Bullets a while back, this is another one released by Vinegar Syndrome called Resurrection. I was not aware this movie exists until Vinegar Syndrome sold it to me. I bought their 4-pack, so this is kind of our Halloween October special month. We did Prisoners of the Ghostland, which was not good. If you've seen that review, nobody has. There's only one viewer as of today. But
check it out there.
Yeah, check out the review, not the movie.
Review.
Yeah. So Resurrection stars Christopher Lambert and a number of other actors that you're going to recognize, and Rick Fox from the Lakers.
Yeah. His debut, I guess.
I think he's done other stuff, but
yeah, true. Yeah.
But he's in it. Lambert plays a cop named John Prudhomme, I think, or Jake Prudhomme. I can't remember. It's at least good they gave him a French name since his accent's never going away. It's like Schwarzenegger's accent. You know, it's just going to be there no matter what he's playing. We didn't get an "I don't think so" moment in this film. It's very unfortunate. I was hoping they had a perfect opportunity.
Wanted it.
Just a perfect opportunity. We could have got "I don't think so." So Resurrection is the story of Jake Prudhomme, detective, comes upon a murder where an arm's cut off, and there's a sign on the window that says he's coming. And this is directed by Russell Mulcahy, by the way, who directed Highlander. So him and Lambert have a relationship before. And we watched a little bit of a special feature where Lambert brought this to Mulcahy and wanted Mulcahy to direct this. He had an idea. It's a story by Christopher Lambert, produced by Christopher Lambert. So Mulcahy directed it. And so Lambert immediately thinks this killer is going to do more killing. He's telling his chief this. His partner is a recognizable character actor. I've seen him before. He was the bad guy in The Bone Collector, actually. So at first we kind of thought, hey, maybe he's the killer. Yeah. It's not going to turn out that way. Spoiler alert, because we're going to spoil this. So they begin investigating. They find another victim based on some clues that were left behind by the killer that's buried in a botanical garden that's missing the other arm. And they start to believe that Lambert comes to this because there's like some Bible verses scratched some of these guys' names and their names of the apostles.
Roman numerals.
Translated. And like one of his name is Matthew, one of his name is John, apostles, I think. And he has Roman numerals, so he picks up on that. The Roman numerals that are carved in the body are Bible verses, and he's like, Matthew 1:19, which, interesting enough, it could have been Matthew 11:9.
Yeah.
The other one, not so mistakable, 24:27.
Right.
But it could have been 11:9 or 1:19, so I guess he just assumed 1:19. So, he figures out, he thinks this guy is going to be reassembling the body of Christ, or believes that's going to do something. So he begins investigating that way. Then an FBI profiler comes into the picture, and the chief, introduces them, and the profiler, a recognizable actor, creepy-looking guy, and you kind of called it, hey, this guy's probably the killer.
This is probably him.
He's the killer. It's pretty obvious.
Just came out of nowhere.
He came out of nowhere, and so, Lambert and him are working together, and this guy goes off, says he has other work to do, and Lambert is investigating more of the crimes. They investigate another murder, and this guy's head's cut off. And then Lambert at one point gets very frustrated and goes to the FBI field office like, I want to see Weingart, I think was the guy's name. Yeah. And this black guy comes out, and that's not who they had met before. So at that point, we know who the killer is. Yeah. It's this creepy FBI agent, imposter. So they begin hunting him, and they capture him pretty easy. They set up a sting to capture him because he doesn't know they know. But the problem is they don't have any evidence, so they have to let him go. And so they're following him, and they lose him in the train station. Lambert loses him again after he finds him in the train station. So ultimately they end up in like this final chase down where the guy steals a baby and is going to take the heart of the baby. They find the crucifixion. They find all the body parts.
The worst fake baby.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's like American Sniper level fake baby. Yeah.
Oh, Yeah.
So, they end up with the baby and the guy and the killer, and it all ends. It's real slow at times.
Very slow.
And that whole final sequence drags out forever. I was like, oh, and it's supposed to be actiony at the end, but it just wasn't. It was slow.
Yeah, anticlimactic for sure.
It didn't work.
They really tried to be 7.
Yeah, it's basically 7.
Yeah.
That's what they were trying to do, is trying to copy 7.
Yeah, there was almost like beat for beat there for a
Yeah, at times it works. Yeah. At times it works, but they just didn't have the story. They didn't have enough there to make it interesting. The actors weren't that good overall. There were some perfectly fine performances in it, but there's a whole subplot.
Lambert was bad.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, he wasn't too cordial.
Yeah, there's a whole subplot where Lambert's partner gets shot in the leg because he was dressed up like the killer by the killer, and then the killer steals his leg from the hospital when it gets amputated. But that was just, there was no reason for that to be there particularly. It was just there. There's another plot where the killer goes to kill Lambert's wife, but he kills his wife's sister, and it's all silly, really. Yeah. I mean, ultimately they were trying to be 7. Yeah. They were, like you said. And it just doesn't get to that.
Convoluted and just kind of drawn out. It was, yeah.
I mean, it's not a terrible film.
Okay. Yeah.
Not terrible. The music's terrible.
Oh, most generic music that you can put to a movie.
Yeah, TV movie of the week type stuff. Yeah. That's basically
that's what you said. Yeah.
Yeah.
During the movie.
Which is generic stuff you'd hear in anything, like cheap productions. If you listen real close, you can hear a little bit of it in the background here.
Yes.
Because the menus are up on the TV right here. Yeah, it's kind of like that kind of stuff, like just like
there were
Law and Order type music.
A couple points where it kind of was overbearing.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh. Man.
Yeah, it's too much at times.
Yeah.
It really is. It's too much at times.
Out,
but yeah, overall, the movie, the performances are fine. The story's okay. It's definitely, you get distinct feeling they're definitely copying off 7. They're trying to make another 7. This is 99, 98, 99, so you're about 3 or 4 years after 7. So you're definitely getting that feeling. And then, there's the whole subplot, too, of Lambert's kid dying, which doesn't really play into the rest of the movie. It just shows that he's really depressed.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really play into the rest of the movie. You see his kid die, though. Or not really die, because they said he was in coma for 5 days after getting his head run over by a car, basically. But it's so silly. That scene's silly.
That scene was so...
And you can tell, like, it's a bike going out in front of a car. You can tell the bike has been pushed, and the car's coming. Well, the bike falls over before the car even gets there, and then the car runs over it. It's like, it's goofy. It's a dummy, obviously. Yeah. It's just a goofy scene.
Yeah, we were both like, oh.
Yeah, it's like, where'd that come from? Didn't make any sense.
It's like we didn't have to see that.
Did not have to see that.
To understand what happened.
So the movie, I think the movie does that on a couple of occasions. They really kind of give you more information than you need. They're treating the viewer like an idiot. So, I mean, and granted, maybe some people are, but you really didn't need a lot of the information in this movie. So, basically, the movie is just a cheap knockoff. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's not terrible by any means, but it's also pretty slow at times and kind of boring at times. It was like an hour and 45 minutes. It could have been an hour and 20 and done just fine.
Yeah.
25-minute trim on this movie would have made it a better movie, probably. But then again, it's not my movie, so it's not my place to say. But I can say I think it would be better. So yeah, so that's Resurrection.
Yeah.
It's just fine.
I think I had to resurrect you a couple times.
Yeah, I was kind of out a couple times.
Yeah.
I worked today. I was tired.
It drug out.
It drags out. So
yeah.
So rating wise, I don't know. What are you gonna?
I mean, it's tough to rate something like this. I mean, for what it is, 2.5, and that's high.
That's where I'm at. Yeah, 2.5. Yeah, it's middle of the road.
Yeah,
it's certainly middle of the road. It's not gonna really, it's not. I doubt it's anybody's favorite movie. You never know, though. But I also don't think it's anybody thinks it's just the worst movie ever. So yeah, 2.5.
Yeah,
it's middle of the road. It's just okay.
Yeah,
it's nobody's favorite movie, nobody's least favorite movie. It's just fine. For a Christopher Lambert movie, it's probably above average.
It was bearable.
Yeah. All right, so that's Resurrection.
Yes.
You can get it from Vinegar Syndrome if you want to buy a copy of it. It's probably not worth owning, but I do. Check it out for sure. We will see you next time on Basement Movie Room.
Cheers.
Before it's too late, be afraid, for he has risen. Resurrection.